I want to respond, if I may, from the train to concerns about my coverage of the Manchester airport issue. And someone has pointed out very kindly that the footage clearly shows that the police engaged with young lads and with their mother in the car park payment area. It's not clear to me at all from the footage. It looks like a corridor. There are no cars within sight. But the confusion, I think, is about the location. I think stems from the fact that there are apparently 3 events involving this family group. The first is an altercation between passengers from Qatar Airways flight QR023 at 7:20 p.m. No one seems clear whether this took place in the flight itself, on the flight, or in the baggage area. But I suspect that this is where the story comes from about trying to search the mother. The second altercation, which involved members of the public, happened in the T2 Starbucks about an hour later at 8:22. And the third incident, about 5 minutes after this, is the one with the footage that took place in the car park or wherever. It seems clear this is a very troubled group of people to start with, but the fact remains, whatever sparked the police attack, nothing justifies the kick and the stamp in the face. By the way, I've looked at the shot-by-shot analysis, which is not convincing to me. It offers an explanation, and a good explanation, but it doesn't deal with the overall impact of the footage of the kick that went viral and that sent out a very worrying message about our police force. It seems to me to be about excuses, and I understand why people may want to find excuses and to explain away what happened in the heat of the moment. The problem here is tribalism and loyalty to a brand, just as one commentator assumed that I'd made unfavourable comments about Farage's banking crisis. Actually, I supported Farage in that crisis, just as another assumes I'm a socialist. I'm not. The family lawyer Ahmed Yaqub talks about justice for the family and not promoting violence, calming people down. Again, I think I made my position clear. I'm not the family lawyer. I have minimal interest in the family issues here, except that I would certainly condemn the attack made by that family on the police themselves. My concern here is the image presented by the police, recorded and posted online. The kick and the stamp, as well as pulling the other lad to the ground so violently. Public figures have a public duty. The police are not vigilantes. We're expected to respect the police. These are people that I fear. Just as I walked on the other side of the street to the police when I was in Russia. I was brought up with Dixon of Dock Green, the blue lamp, and if these people saluted me and said "evening all," I think I would worry about whether those would be the last words that I would ever hear. This is such a worrying visual impression. The Greater Manchester Police Chief Constable Stephen Watson thinks apparently that only some communities have been shocked. I think what happened should shock everyone. This is a wake-up call to a very different form of policing. If this is what we've got from now on, then I worry. And by the way, I hear about police brutality a lot at the moment, mostly in other countries, and my advice is always the same. When I'm asked, I would encourage people to write everything down and to assume the issue is not over. If they can, I encourage them to make plans to get away. The point is not about whether they are guilty or innocent. The point is that it is about the power of an uncontrolled police force, and they are in the... they've been identified for some reason. And this incident in Manchester is therefore not unique at all. It is simply unusual to find it happening in the UK. And the more people try and justify it, the more I worry that this is the new face of policing in Britain. I hope it's not. And for that reason, I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to condemn it. I think we need to be clear.